Hello creative friends and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. Today we're going to make a really cute card. It's a fun fold and you guys know that I love fun folds, so I'm happy to share this one with you today. Let's take a look at the pieces I have already cut to start with. This is a piece of pebbled path. For some reason that's really hard for me to say. Pebbled path cardstock, and it measures 3 1/4 by 4 inches. And this is a piece of designer series paper, and I think the paper was called A Latte Love. Hold on, I will check in just a minute. But see the coffee beans? It was that cute paper that came out with the latte set. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. This is a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock, one of my favorite colors. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then last, I have a piece of basic white, and this is 8 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I have already scored it right here in the middle at 4 1/4. And then you see over here, I have various little scraps of different pieces and parts. I've just got some white. This is Petal Pink, Lost Lagoon, Calypso Coral. This is from, hold on, let me grab my paper. All right, so the plaid one that I showed you earlier, this one, that paper is called A Little Latte, all right? And then this paper is called Country Woods. And it's got lots and lots of different wood grains in it, different colors and different textures, but all wood grains, and it is really gorgeous paper. This one came, whoop, can't really see it, hold on. This one is a lot more subtle, but it's from that same paper pack. Okay. And today I'm going to be using Pebbled Path and Pretty Peacock ink. All right, I think I'm going to start with gluing a couple of things together here. So this piece is going to be my card base. So let me grab my glue and let's adhere this piece of paper. So you know, Stampin' Up! Many times, especially if they release a suite of products, there is a designer series paper that coordinates with the stamp sets and the dies or the punch. And so, of course, when that happens, I use the paper to make something with the products that it coordinates with. But also, the paper is just pretty, right? And all different colors. And so I do try to remember that when I want to make a card, that I've got lots and lots of paper. And sometimes the B side, right, or the flip side is more generic, and that is what I want to use. All right, I've folded and burnished this. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere it on here right in the middle, or as close to the middle as I can get. I'm not measuring that. I'm just gonna eyeball it. You may want to measure it, but I'm gonna eyeball this one today. So at the end, as usual, I have another card that I made with, it's the same style, but different products. So let me see here if I can get this reasonably centered and straight. That's two big challenges, right? Centered and straight. There we go. That looks pretty good. We're gonna go with that. So this just flips open. Now, remember I have this piece of Pebble Path. I want to emboss this, and then it's going to go right here. So I'm just gonna set that out of the way. The embossing folder that I'm using today is this one called Timber. It's a 3D embossing folder. And so it just is a wood grain, really pretty. All right, let me grab my cut and emboss machine. Bring that over here. And remember, with the 3D embossing folder, we just need, let me scoot it this way a little bit. We just need the platform, and then we're going to put in the embossing folder, and I'm going to turn my paper, I'm going to orient it this way, because when I'm finished, I want the wood grain to be going vertical. So that's a choice for you, whether you want your wood grain going vertically or horizontally. So just the platform, the embossing folder with my cardstock inside, and my number 4 plate. So let's get that going. And usually these embossing folders are pretty tight. So I'm just going to go kind of slow here and kind of clunk at the end, but that's okay. All right, let's see what we've got. And there it is. Really nice wood grain for our card. And so this side is bumpy in that parts of the cardstock are raised. If I flip it over, this is bumpy too, but more because parts are recessed. Does that make sense? So this one is more prominent in the things that are lifting up. This one feels and looks a little bit flatter because you're seeing the recessed side. And this is the side that I want to show on my card today. So check that out the next time you're embossing. The two sides look slightly different. I heard someone say one time that one side is embossed and the other side is debossed. So, you know, that sounds good to me. So I guess that means today I'm using the debossed side. Let me grab this and we'll go ahead and put this on. So let's get some glue. I've had this stamp set and die set for a little while, but had not used it yet. I'm going to put a little bit more glue just because this is bumpy. It's not just a flat piece of cardstock or paper. So I'm going to put a little extra in there so it can fill in all those grooves and really adhere well to my white cardstock here. Now, let me see if I can get this pretty straight. That's looking pretty good. And I am going to, I just want to make sure that it's really pressed down well. So I'm going to flip this open and I'm going to kind of hold it in place. And I'm going to use my bone folder to really press that. Make sure the glue gets distributed and that really sticks. There we are. Okay, now the fun part. So let's look at all these little scraps. Lots of scraps. And I will make die cuts out of these. All right, so this one, the wood grain, is going to be this die, which is a stool. We're going to stamp it first. This white piece is kind of like a jug. This little piece, it's a very subtle wood grain, is, I'm going to call it like a label. It's a label that's going to go on our jug. This Lost Lagoon, I'm going to make leaves. And then these two pieces, the Petal Pink and the Calypso Coral, I'm going to die cut out 3 flowers of each of those. And we're going to use all those pieces on our card. Now, to save us a little bit of time, I have done some die cutting ahead of time, but I wanted to show you just the pieces, the colors, you know, where everything came from. So let me move these things out of the way. Oh, and while we're here, I want to tell you what I'm using today. I'm using the Country Flowers bundle. So these are the dies. So you saw the ones that I just laid out here on the table, but there are a lot more dies. Several of them coordinate with the stamps. So you could die cut out some of these really nice floral stamped images. And then also just some other cute things like that stool and this teapot, lots of flowers, leaves. So a great die set. And again, there is the stamp set. So that is the bundle I'm using today. Let me move these out of the way. And we do need to stamp a stool on here, so I figured we could do that together. This is Pebbled Path. And I've got my stamp already on my block. So let's ink that up. And then, there we go. So I did one of those before I started my video, and then I went ahead and die cut it out. And so here is my stool. All right. Now, we want to think about organizing all of our pieces and parts. Let me bring them all down here so you can see them. And I'm going to close up my Pebble Path so I don't stick anything in it. So here are lots of pieces. I've got some flowers. So I'm going to use a couple of the Pale Pink and one of the Calypso Coral. Now, I want to stamp on here. So this is the little label that's going to go on the jug, and I'm going to use my Pretty Peacock ink. And there's this really cute little stamp that says Flower Market. So I'm going to use that on here. So let's do that. Now, I'm going to move this down. Hopefully it's still in the frame. I just want to make sure I can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right. Now we can start putting things together. So this is going to go right on here. So the die just has this one handle, which would also be cute. It looks kind of like a picture, but the die for the label has two handles. If you didn't want both handles, you just cut this one off, right? Just grab your paper snips and cut it off. But I am going to use it. Oh, look at the back of that. That's pretty too. So I'm going to put a little glue on here, maybe. I think I might be running out of glue in this and this one here. And I'm just going to put a touch right there. Now, let's see if I can get this on. I'm going to scoot it around a little bit. Oops, flip it over, but not on purpose. There we go. It feels pretty good. Isn't that cute? I think that's just adorable. All right, let's talk about our leaves. They're gonna go on here. You could build your image on your card, but I don't know why, but for some reason it just seemed easier to me to do it off the card and then put it on. So that's what I'm gonna do. You might wanna do something different. Now, I don't wanna put glue up here because there's nothing for it to attach to. So I'm just gonna put it kind of here and on this lower leaf. Like that. That's fine. In the end, I'm gonna attach this to my card with dimensionals. So, I don't know how I want this. Let's just do it like this. There we go. And now, these little flowers, here are my reverse tweezers. Sometimes it's easier to just hold these small ones with the reverse tweezers. And just a little bit of glue there. I'm gonna put this right here. right there. Kind of want to, there we go. And I'm just pushing it down. I've got 2 more flowers here. And I just put a little tiny bit of glue kind of in the middle. This one, let's put a little bit of glue right there. You don't need much, right? This is, we're not shipping this to the moon, okay? So it doesn't need a vast amount of, I'm trying to just get it where I want it there, in that little spot. There we go, and 1 more flower. This is the Calypso Coral one. Grab these tweezers. Put it right in here. Actually, I think I want it more this way. There we go. Whoops. Ah. There. So cute. All right, one more thing I want to do with this. I'm going to use these iridescent pearls, basic jewels. That is what they are called. And I am going to put some of those as the center of my flowers. They're really small. If you don't have these, no biggie. You probably have some kind of embellishments that you could use, or I think it would also be cute if you took your Wink of Stella and just put a little shine in the center of these. That might be fun too. And I just want to make sure those are stuck on there good. There we are. Adorable. Adorable. All right, this I'm going to glue onto the front of my card. And my image is pretty tall. So I'm going to put that pretty close to the bottom. And then this is going to sit on the stool. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, we need some dimensionals. And today I'm going to use these little mini dimensionals, the baby dimensionals. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool because they are small. And sometimes I have a little bit of a hard time picking them up with my fingers. So for me, this is a little bit faster. Let me move this out of the way for a minute. Now these leaves are just the right size where you can put a small dimensional on there. So that way it will have a little bit of support, less likely to get damaged. And let's put one right there. I'm kind of going to go crazy with these. I love these little dimensionals. I'll put one right here. And I love that they're just the right size to go in there. Let's see. Let's put one here. And then we'll do one more. Here. All right. Now let me get the backs off of these. Oops. Come off there. There we go. Again, sometimes it's just easier to use a Take Your Pick tool than fingers. Anyway, my fingers will get a little clumsy. Let me hold down the leaf while I pull that off. One more. Let me take a look at it just to make sure I got them all off. Yes, I did. Okay. Excellent. Now, this is going to go right here. Push those leaves down so the dimensionals stick. And this is our card, but we're not done. We're not done. Let me grab another one of our flowers. Because when we die cut, we'll have 3 of the petal pink and 3 of the Calypso Coral. And so I'll just grab one of those and stick it on there for a little decoration on the inside. Here we go. Isn't that sweet? Now, I didn't put a sentiment on the inside because it's just a cute card, and you could use it for happy birthday or thinking of you, or I think pretty much anything. Really sweet. Now, let me show you the other one that I made. Different color palette. Here we go. Now, the inspiration for this color palette came from the Perennial Lavender paper. I love that paper. I love all the colors in that paper. So this card has nothing to do with that. Except I did use, this is from that paper pack, but I just loved all the colors in it. And so that's how I built my image, using the colors from that paper. So there we are, 2 cute cards. They do come across differently because of the difference in the colors, but otherwise they're exactly the same. So which one do you like better? Card number 1 or card number 2? All right, thank you for tuning in today. I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.